The MC Raptors traveled to Danville, Virginia to take on the Danville Community College Knights in the NJCAA D3 District D Championship Tournament, with a trip to the World Series hanging in the balance. MC came in 32-14, while homestanding Danville was 37-13 and ranked 7th in the latest NJCAA D3 poll. Danville started Brandon Harris on the hill in Game 1 of the best-of-3 tournament. Harris was 9-2 coming in, but the Raptors wasted little time grabbing the lead. In the top of the first, Chris Heckhouse and Eddie Piguero immediately got on, but after Harris retired the next two hitters, Greg Brown stroked a two-out single to put MC up 2-0. The Raptors went with Harry Thomas, who came in sporting an 11-1 record, the most wins by any pitcher in the NJCAA D3, and he looked strong from the start. The Raptors made it 3-0 in the second when Naha Garcia singled, stole second, and scored on a two-out Chris Heckhouse double. And Thomas kept it that way, throwing exactly as you'd expect the nation's top winner to throw. Controlling the game, relying on his solid defense. Here, catcher Jeff Stone throws out a would-be base stealer at third. And he used his fastball and breaking pitches to keep the Knights hitters off stride. He carried a shutout into the sixth, and that's when the Raptors began to break it open. After Greg Brown led off with a walk, Nolan Gilbert wrapped a sharp single to left. Jeff Stone drove in Brown with the single. A Naha Garcia single scored Gilbert, and then a Heckhouse single scored both Stone and a sliding Garcia to give Thomas a 7-0 cushion to work with. And he more than made it stand up, allowing just 2 hits through 6. He did allow a run in the 7th, but got out of a mini jam when he picked a runner off first and then retired the side on a strikeout. The Raptors ended the competitive portion of Game 1 when they put a big, fat 10 spot on the board in the 8th. They strung together a cluster of hits, the Danville defense faltered, and Knights pitchers issued a series of bases-loaded walks. And when it was all said and done, it was 17-1 Raptors. The Knights tacked on a meaningless run in the 8th, but that was the game as the NJCAA run rule came into effect. Thomas went the distance, and with a win in the books, MC needed just one more to advance to the World Series. But Game 2 couldn't have been more different. Greg Brown started for MC, and he was victimized by some Danville small ball as they put a run on the board in the top of the first while never getting the ball out of the infield. Danville went with Brandon Brown in Game 2, and the big fella kept the Raptors off balance most of the game with an assortment of breaking pitches and off-speed stuff. MC's Brown struck out the side in the third, but his mates couldn't seem to solve Danville's Brown. And then the Knights made it 3-0 in the fourth on singles by Jason Perez and Bryant Cook. But the Raptors finally broke through in their half of the fourth. A deep Brooks Carson sac fly brought home Eddie Piguero, who had walked, and then a 2-out single from Nolan Gilbert brought in Paz and Mateo to tie it at 3. It stayed that way through the fifth thanks to Raptor left fielder Naha Garcia. With a man on second, Braden Miles sent a deep drive to left, but Garcia made the play of the day when he chose the perfect angle on the ball, dove, and made a tumbling catch for the third out. Let's take another look at just a spectacular play by Naha Garcia. But the Raptors didn't seem to pick up any momentum from that amazing play. Brown continued to keep them off balance. MC went to the bullpen in the sixth, bringing in Eddie O'Neill when Brown allowed a leadoff single. O'Neill got out of the jam with a strikeout, but he ran into trouble in the seventh. St. Clair drew a leadoff walk. He moved to second on a sacrifice, moved up to third when O'Neill's pitch got away from Stone, and then scored on a sac fly from Bradley Tickle. And that was the run that did it, as the Raptors went down quietly in the 8th and 9th. Brandon Brown went the distance for the win to tie the tournament at 1 apiece. That means tomorrow's game is for all the marbles. Whoever takes it will win District D and head to the NJCAA D3 World Series next weekend. For the Raptor Report, I'm Michael Brown.